Alright, hey guys, Transformers fan 4444 Transformers, and today I'm going to be reviewing Transformers Generations Studio Series 86 Blur. So I'm going to pause the camera and mic and check to see if the video is going live or not. Alright, I'm back. So, here's Blur. Good news, the stream's working. Bad news, I don't know how long. So here's Blur, alright. So I don't have as many Blurs as I do have cups. I do have Generation 1 Blur. There it is, alright. So you might be asking, why haven't I reviewed? I almost fell. Why haven't I reviewed Generation 1 Blur? And, well, that's a good reason. That's mostly due to it just being missing a lot of parts. So here's a quick look on the back, and you can just see lots of parts are already missing. I did have Titans Return Blur, but honestly, if you ask me, I have no idea where that is right now. And I didn't bother searching because, there's not enough time and you gotta film a video. So that just doesn't leave time to do these things. Alright, there we go. Opening up Blur's box. And here we go. There's Blur. I know this sounds kind of negative, but this really just looks like the Titans Return mold. But that's great. I love the Titans Return mold. No, it's not the same exact mold, but like there is differences, but it's not as different for cup scenario. So bear with me a moment as I open up the figure. Alright, so here is Blurr's gun, which was hardly in the movie. And here is Blurr's welding iron crap thing, which was hardly in the movie. You know, Hasbro, I don't really think Hasbro cared about Jazz for this film. It does have some nice sculpting, but I really feel like Jazz was not appreciated by Hasbro. There's a little background, Stan. I love that picture. I really think that's great, and if you guys did see my announcement video, I really feel like that's gonna really, really help out for the stop motion movie. But just Jazz in general, I feel like Hasbro doesn't really appreciate him. We had that whole controversy in 2018 for Jazz. We really haven't got a proper Jazz figure after that since 2010. And we didn't have a proper Jazz figure before that ever since the Generation 1 mold. And I'm not going to count reissues of the mold because it's the same mold. So we only had four actually good Jazz molds that are supposed to represent G1 Jazz. Two of them being Jazz with the wings, kind of like he was in the comic book series in the original toy, and the other two supposed to be representing cartoon Jazz, being Power of the Primes, which tried to give it a futuristic car mode, and just the normal Studio Series 86 Jazz. So Hasbro's only released 4 Jazz molds. Same way they've only released 2 G1 stall modes. And I really feel like Jazz was not appreciated enough because, for example, Cup has his Energon snacks and his gun. Hot Rod has 2 guns, a iron wielding saw blade. He has the glasses. He has 2 blast effects for his guns, which can also work as 2 lightning fire sort of effects for his little exhausts that are on his hands, or the little engine for his robot, or for the back of his car mode. I don't know what they call him. And he even comes with a piece of blue plastic for the Matrix, and just the Matrix itself, even though you can't even fit the Matrix on the thing, it still came with all those accessories. Scourge came with his gun. You can replicate that one scene from Planet Junk. It comes even with his purple blast effect. Grimlock came with Wheelie. He came with his blaster. But Jazz only has his one gun. From what I've seen, it's just that one gun and nothing else. And they even didn't get the right number on the figure and put 14. So the 14 didn't bother me as much as it did most people. I saw a lot of people pretty pissed because of that, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Alright. I'm sorry if you had to hear that. It's just hard to move this hand at all. Trying to free the hand. I really wish I had scissors on me right now. I really would have helped. I'm just gonna turn down the mic so you guys don't have to hear the loud. Alright, well that was definitely the loudest of the noises. So here's Jazz. Oh crap, here's Blurr. So his hand is gone, and his sort of welding piece. Speaking of welding pieces, even Hot Rod had a welding piece on his hand. So I am pretty excited for the second wave of figures. I heard that they're, well, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I heard stuff like that another Astro Train is coming. We had that CPU or SKU Walmart number all the way back in 2020. We had um we had rumors of Slank there as well, and a Sharktacon null. So we've heard Sharktacon null, Slank with Daniel, and Astro Train for 1 point. We don't know what that's supposed to be for. It might be for an upcoming movie. It could be for anything, honestly. But my best bet is that's gonna be for the Studio Series line. But I don't know what they're gonna do with the figure because we already had Siege Astro Train, so they might just paint Astro Train to his toy colors. I really don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe it was supposed to be the Walmart exclusive Astro Train figure, but that was $40, not 30. Anyways, here's Blurr. Let's just focus on Blurr instead of ranting. Alright, so Blurr does have a nice little knee tilt, and if you can look closely, that part does separate. Knees do come back, knees come forward, leg comes up, 360 spin at the crotch, ankle tilt. I don't know how they really do these ankle tilts. The hand, no, it doesn't move. It can if you want it to come off, but no, it doesn't move. It comes out this much, arm doesn't go back. 360 rotation on the arms. Head, honestly, it's going to be able to rotate 360. That just makes sense. And lastly, the arms do come up around this much. There we go. All right. Transformation. I have a high bet that this is Titans Return all over, but I'm gonna try. All right. So I'm assuming we just open this up. I did see a review on Jazz around a little while ago. So that just okay. That does attach in, and I'm guessing we're gonna have to move that up for later on. Yeah. Yes, it's really reminiscent of Titans Return. And while I was trying to open this up, I saw that this piece actually rotates. So that does explain how that works. And next up we have a slightly different engineered piece. You can't take this out and use it as a shield anymore, at least I don't think it's possible. Well, maybe, I haven't seen what people have done with the figure. And we can just fold that in, and that just makes the entire front section. Alright, this is just straight Titans Return Blurr. Alright. Opening this up. Alright, maybe I should just flip this out, yeah. Alright, opening this up, taking that section out, getting this open, attaching this together. Alright, and this just does not want to attach together. For all the bad mouth I'm getting to this figure, I really want to say this figure really looks beautiful, and I Love the paint job on the figure. Hasbro really did a great job, and they really did a great number to this figure. Just overall really beautiful. But I am gonna admit when there are problems, and just getting this piece. There we go. Alright, that's out. And now we can just kind of fold that in, just like Time's Return. Coming here, attaching these in to the back side of the figure. This is definitely the easier figure to do. And I think we just leave those there. I don't see anything I can do with those pieces. I can check. Again, I can resort to the instructions. But I really don't see anything that I can do with those sections of the feet. Alright, never mind. This is 1% different mold. Alright, so don't attach these in. Because it kind of fold. Alright, I'll just open up this entire part right here. Don't attach these in because you gotta fold these out. Alright, I will give them credit. That is new. And alright. Again, like Time's Return figure, you gotta pull those out, and you can now just open these. So I did have to re-engineer some parts. But for a second, this just felt like the Kara Legends release of this figure. Alright, let's just move that there, and now we can just attach in the legs. And those will fit. There we go. Those tab in right there. Let me just quickly get the legs back to where they were a good minute ago. And these have a lot of space. They just attach in like so. Oh, this one opened out. There we go. And there. That attaches in right there. Alright. Just bring that to the back and tap that in. And just do that on both sides of the figure. Just rotate that from the hand and just tap that in. And after tapping everything in, we have a pretty solid Time's Return figure. Well, serious figure, but and here is the figure. So I do want to get some complaints out the way. Just the front looks kind of weird. It just smoothens out like that. I think Perspective N did talk about that. And he and I also share another agreement that the gun just attaches in the weirdest way possible. This, I have no idea where to place it. I think we can just... Yeah, there we go. Alright, that doesn't work out. But you guys get what I mean. There isn't really any place to attach that. Actual problems with the toy, smoothness, I'll get over it, really. The only actual problem I have is these I only have 3 problems to figure. The wheel, there's no wheels on this thing. Another thing Perspective N mentioned, the gun just goes in really odd. Really odd way to attach the gun, and this is the last thing. This is also a big problem I had times with turn blur. The little passenger seat is damn impossible to open. You really have to claw your finger in there just to open that one part of the figure. Anyways, closing up this, you just push that in and rotate this around. So let's just finish transforming him back to robot mode. Taking his arms out, pushing that all the way back in. Coming here to the legs, untabbing them so we can allow these to come back in. And now we can attach the hands back in. Do be careful with the little white hinges there. They really feel loose, so absolutely just be really careful with the figure. Because, it could, I don't want that to snap for anyone. Now we can just come here, open these up, and we can just bring that out. And we can just open the legs. That was kind of hard to open out, but push that in. Close the legs back up. And we do have one person in there, so that's nice. Put the feet back in and just repeat that on both sides. Make sure the leg tabs in. Hold the feet tab in and just line up that and just hold on the arms and bring that section back. And overall, here is Transformers Generations Studio Series 86 Blurr. In my opinion, this is actually a pretty solid figure from the Studio Series line. And okay, I now see the light piping on the figure. It's kind of hard to notice, but kind of, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's really hard to see the light piping. I don't know how they did it, but good job, Hasbro, for that. Alright, yeah, that's not going to stand there. I could try, but and there we go. Jazz. Oh, keep calling them Jazz. Blurr. Yeah, Blurr. Yeah, there we go. For anyone wondering what my actual G1 Blurr is missing, so I know someone might one day comment saying, well, what's wrong with your G1 Blurr? Has a little broken tab down there. And when you want to transform him, you're going to really see what this guy is missing, which is really bad on the figure. He's missing his gun. That doesn't affect the transformation, but he's missing on these front pieces and his entire shield. So that's why I really don't transform that Blurr that often. And so far, because I now own this figure, I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on a lot of the 86 stuff. Between G1 Blurr, Trans Return Blurr, and Studio Series 86 Blurr, 86 Blurr, because of the more accuracy, is probably my favorite Blurr. Between G1 Cup, Generations Cup, Trans Return Cup, and 86 Cup, 86 Cup has to be my favorite cup that we've had so far. Now this is going to be excluding Rodimus, alright? Between between Times Return Hot Rod, Combiner Wars Hot Rod, G1 Hot Rod, and the final two Hot Rods being Studio Series 86 and Masterpiece Hot Rod. Number 5 would be Combiner Wars. Number 5 is Combiner Wars. Number 4, Times Return. 3 would be G1. No, 4 would be G1. 3 would be Times Return. 2 is Studio Series 86, and my favorite hot rod would still have to be the Masterpiece. And lastly, that brings us to Scourge, which is G1, Times Return, Generations, and 86, with Generations being my least favorite, then Times Return, then G1, and then lastly 86. And just some quick comparisons for its stature. Here he is next to Scourge, a really big size difference on these two. And these are around the same length as Cup, they're around the same size. So yeah, overall, I really recommend this figure. I did, you might have heard me badmouth it, but that's just little tiny complaints. I really feel like this figure is definitely the best the best Blur we've ever had. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.